Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today I'll be showcasing a LEGO Ideas project that I definitely think deserves your vote. It is the Sonic Mania-Green Hill Zone project by designer toastergrl, and this is just a really awesome set. It has around 700 pieces in it, so it would probably cost about $70. Although considering that a bunch of stuff has been added in updates since then, I imagine that a lot of the updated stuff might not be included, and LEGO would probably stick relatively close to this, but the set's actual price would probably go more around $80 to maybe even $100 if they decided to include a bunch of the stuff. Anyway, to go more in detail with this awesome project that you should all vote for are the figures, and there are many other figures included in the set. There are tons of proposed designs, which is great, but these are the ones that were included with the original submission back in March, and you just have some really cool figures. Starting on the left, you can see Classic Sonic, which is of course very different from the modern Sonic figure we saw in LEGO Dimensions, with a dark azure coloring and short legs, which she said that she might also go for mid legs, and that perhaps those would be better so you could have Sonic actually running, and that she would hope that if the set went into production, they would go with those. So if you would prefer mid legs, they might go with them. If you prefer short legs, they also might go with them. So whichever way, it's up in the air what they would go with for the official figure, but I think both would look good. My money's on them sticking with short legs, though, since they haven't done any printing on the shoes of mid-legs or any double molding for mid-legs, so short legs would just be much more stable ground for them to tread. Anyway, Sonic's accessory would be the Phantom Ruby, based on its Mania design, which looks really good with one new printed 1x1 tile used 4 times on it. And also on the right, you can see that you would also get a ring using its same design as in the Dimensions figure. Anyway, my favorite figure of the project, though, is definitely Dr. Ivo Robotnik, or at least of these that were originally produced for the original submission. He just looks really good. I love the face with the mustache, which looks really good despite the small size. The small size, of course, being fully accurate for proportion's sake. What I'm saying is that it just looks really good. I imagine that in the final figure, if this got released, they would probably move the nose up onto the dome piece, because that would lessen the amount of printed parts they needed to include. Anyway, he can articulate at the shoulders with ball joints, and his hands can swivel, and his legs can move in and out. And he has a couple of prints on the front for the triangles of his cape, as well as for his buttons on his pants. Just a really awesome design that I imagine LEGO wouldn't change too much since it just looks so good. Next is the Motobug Badnik, which is very simple, but it includes all of the most important details. You have the big wheel at the bottom, which doesn't actually turn, but it looks really good. We have the cute bug face with the printing on it for the teeth and the little the antennae. You have the shell, which is nicely curved, you have the exhaust, you have the pincers. It's just a really cool design. And the project would also include 3 flicky birds, which are, again, just really simply built, just 2 pieces each, but they look really good and are super accurate and really cute. Moving into figures added in updates, we have the Buzz Bomber Badnik from Green Hill as well as several other zones throughout Sonic's history, and it just looks really good. I think it's my favorite of the 3 Badniks that are currently in the project. It's a good idea how it uses the same face print from the Motobug, because that, of course, lessens the amount of new prints that need to be made. And I really love how you can switch between flight mode and attack mode. That's just a really cool feature. Anyway, the last of the 3 more standard Badniks here is the Crab Meat Badnik, which would get a new eye print to just give it the sort of small wonky pupil. And then the claws could move up and down, and the legs could each move in and out. I mean, these are just some fantastic badniks in general. Like, even if you don't like the project as a whole for some insane reason, I would just give this a support just because these badniks are great and just super well done for, like, minifigure scale little evil robot guys. They're awesome. Anyway, moving on to some actually slightly evil characters, we have the hard-boiled Heavies, Mania's exclusive baddies, and currently 4 of the 5 are designed. The 5th, which is the main one, the Heavy King, is going to be introduced when the project reaches 5,500 supporters, so if you want to see that, then, go support the project. She has said that it's likely, and this is pretty clear to me and a lot of other people, that if the project was actually released, LEGO probably wouldn't include all 5, and they'd probably go for just 1. But she has designed all 5, with the idea being that once all 5 are done, she'll hold a vote where people can vote to determine which is the best and which would be included in the final project. I imagine that a lot of the smaller prints, such as the 1x1 tiles, the half-rounded tiles seen towards the legs, I imagine that those less important prints would probably not be included, but they would probably include a print for that dome piece. Well, that's definitely... they would have to do that. As well as probably a print for the torso as well, as we can see here, which looks pretty good. I really like the design for these egg robots. Like, they're pretty simple, but they all work really well. The articulation is really good, actually a bit better than Eggman, with the same arm articulation, in addition to the legs being on ball joints. And I mean, yeah, this is really cool. Probably the most plain of them, but that's just due to the magician's design. I like the design of the Astron, though. Like, that's just using the starfish is pretty simple, but it works well, and I guess technically that means that there's a 4th badnik included in the project. Anyway, my favorite of the Heavies, though, definitely has to be the Heavy Magician. I mean, come on, she's super quirky and adorable. The hat's awesome, and I mean, the bow tie's awesome, and plus, she would probably get 3 new prints. That head, which is super adorable with the eyes, the torso, and, well, again, I feel as though a lot of the less important prints, like the little silver bits on the bow tie and the red stripes on the feet, would probably not be included. I imagine they would go with the 1x1 round tile with the Casino Night-inspired pinball, the bumper design. That's really cute, and I also like the coattails. This is just a really awesome design. Definitely my favorite of the 5. Really cute girl. Anyway, next up we have the Heavy Gunner, which I think has the best chance of being included in the project, if it's officially released by LEGO, simply because it was the main Heavy used when marketing Sonic Mania. It even appeared in the game's opening. And it looks really good. I like the face print and the torso, and the gun isn't 100% accurate, but it still looks really good, and I like how you have the one blue stud sort of referencing the gimmick to the Heavy's boss battle. And I mean, yeah, it's just a really cool design. But aside from the Magician, my second favorite would definitely have to go to the Heavy Rider, or technically this is the Phantom Rider, because Jimmy the Moto Bug is here, Jimmy the Moto Bike. And while technically this does sort of go a bit out of place, since again this is only seen really during the final boss fight with her, if I'm correct, in the not Egg Reverie, but in the game files, Act 3 of Titanic Monarch, the final boss with Eggman with the Phantom Ruby. I believe this is the only time you see Jimmy in this state, but it works pretty well. Plus, I mean, the project already includes a standard Motobug, so I don't mind them going a bit different here. I mean, she's also just has a really cute face design. I like the build. I really like the magenta coloring. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, she only really needs the one print. The only other print on her is the silver stripe, but I mean, Lego could just do that with a 1x3 in just, silver, metallic silver. Now that would also mean that the second print would kind of be the eyes of the bike, but still. And I would say that outside of the gunner, this one probably has the best chance of being included, because, I mean, kids love big motorcycles. Lego loves releasing big motorcycles because kids love big motorcycles, and this is a really awesome big motorcycle. Probably my favorite big motorcycle I've seen built in Lego in quite a while. But anyway, that's enough with figures, and she does plan to make more, like I've already mentioned, the Heavy King, and she is apparently working on a fourth Badnik, or I guess technically fifth if you're counting the Astron, and also a new minifigure, which is going to be Metal Sonic. I'm calling it right now. But anyway, so yeah, and if these figures haven't been enough to convince you to support the project for some reason, there are also the builds, which are also amazing. And here are the main two segments for the Green Hill playset. On the left, we have this design with a palm tree and a hill with a spring. The spring would have a feature to launch a figure into the air, and I like the checkered design for the ground. The palm tree is really nice and asymmetrical. It looks good. On the right, we have a nice flower using a clever usage of the LEGO Movie 2 star piece, and a loop-de-loop, which is just cute, and you have an extra life up top, and this is moderately modular, where the sections can be connected with Technic pins. And here you can just see Sonic being launched into the air by the very simple but very functional mechanism. There's also a third module that is in an update that is one of the crumbling ground areas over water with a totem pole and a checkpoint. And yeah, you can see that you would just knock over the totem pole and it would cause the ground to fall and Sonic would fall into the water. There's also apparently a fourth module in the works as well, which is, again, cool, and hey, follow the project so you can keep up with it and see when new updates are released. Anyway, what is probably the main build in a lot of people's opinions, though, is this amazing design for the Death Egg robot as it appears in the in the boss for Mania's Green Hill Zone. And this is a really cool design. It has just a single new print for the dome up top. I'm really glad the nose is brick built. That's awesome. And it just looks really good. It has articulation at the feet, at the top of the leg, so at the hip, plus for sort of the upper leg plating, you can position it there. Then at the shoulders, the elbows, and the hands can actually go outward and spin out to represent their action from Sonic 2, and also in Mania, but, specifically the way it's done here reminds me more of Sonic 2. I don't know why. Anyway, and this is just a really awesome build, and you can also see that it is absolutely massive, which is just great for play. Here you can see it from the back with its jetpack, and that's also a really cool design, really accurate. Yeah, just a really great thing. You can see that it fit the Eggman figure inside, which is really cool. And, I mean, yeah, it's just a really cool design. Not much else to say beyond that, and here again is the play feature where you can spin the hands and push them outwards and extend them. Cool stuff. And here you can just see sort of an assortment of some of the stuff that's included, with the two modules in the background, the mech, Robotnik, the Badnik, the Flickies, and Sonic, who would also get this brick build design to represent a speed trail from him running so fast, which is a good idea. And yeah, so overall, this is probably the coolest ideas set ever, and I would definitely recommend supporting it. It has some awesome figures, some awesome builds, a ton of great prints. I mean, what's not to love? So yeah, go support the set. That's not like a request. Go support it. Now. There's literally no reason to not do it. It's It's amazing. It's great. I'm not kidding when I say it's literally the best ideas set I've ever seen. Go support it. It deserves to become an official set. Even if you're not a fan of the Sonic franchise, support it. It'll become an official set for the people who want it. I mean, like, I'm not saying support it immediately, because, like, it would be a bit unfortunate if this had to clash against the Gravity Falls Mystery Shack project. I mean, I can't say I'd be too happy with either outcome of that, especially if neither one ended up winning. But, it would be great if this project did at least eventually win the 10,000 supporters sooner rather than later, because again, at the rate it's going, it probably will wait until at least the next review period, which is, honestly, again, kind of preferable in my opinion. Anyway, it will definitely reach the 10,000, but, might as well speed up the process a bit. Get it? Speed. Gotta go fast. Gotta support fast, everyone. What am I still doing here? Yeah, so in conclusion, go support the set. It's awesome. It's just super well designed, super cute, super recognizable for not just Mania in particular, but the series as a whole. I mean, yeah. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Farewell, everyone.